thought, let's do something a little bit different. We do so much serious stuff, so much real serious productivity stuff on Webinar Wednesday, that I thought, let's bring App Wednesday back and see if our community is interested once a month. So I'm really looking forward to your guys' feedback on it. This is not a tutorial webinar of the sort that we normally do here each week. There's not going to be any pre-record of Steve showing anything. Instead, we're going to be talking to 3 interesting people from around the world. They're going to share their 3 favorite mobile apps that they use on their smartphones. And at the end, we turn it into a contest. We will pick one winning app, and I'll use that, and I will make a video for the YouTube channel based on that app. And they get bragging rights till next time. And I know what happened. They were the only ones that were guaranteed a return spot the following month. Everybody else that was arbitrary. It's how good you were in my good graces. Whether it was whether or not you were available, I think. Whether joining us. Amanda. So let me introduce our cast of characters, because I see Amanda has joined us as well.
Hey.
So I don't know if everybody's screen resolves the exact same. But I will start with the ladies first, and we will start. We'll go by age. Should we start?
Yeah, that's a dangerous one. That's dangerous.
Okay, we'll start with Vivica. Vivica von Rosen, of course. Vivica is long been known as the LinkedIn queen. She now is.
Expert.
What is your
LinkedIn queen.
What's your job title with Vengresso?
Vengresso, Chief Visibility Officer. Because I've got a big mouth. Okay,
so that's you do have a rather it's prominent. Vivica's been Vivica and joined us also as Amanda Robinson. Amanda is on an adventure. She is become a digital nomad, having left the comfy confines of Toronto, and is now traveling over. You're on a massive road trip. Where are you right now, Amanda?
Alabama. So I was in the last week I've been in Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, now in Alabama, and then tomorrow I head on down to New Orleans.
Good. Well, New Orleans is good fun. Way more fun than where any of the rest of us are. Speaking of not fun, John Beeler. John is an old friend of mine. He's been a part of the Vancouver tech community forever. Lately, he just finished doing a massive project, which was called, what was it called? Faces of Canada?
Well, the project was called 3D Canada, but
3D Canada.
Our piece was the national portrait with Douglas Copeland. So.
Yeah, and Douglas Copeland, the famous Douglas Copeland, worked with John on this project. I suppose you worked with him, but we'll say he worked with you on the project.
We collaborated.
But John did all of the 3D modeling of how many Canadian faces and heads?
We 3D scanned about 2,000 people from 9 different cities across Canada over 2 years. And then I spent a year fabricating and printing all those pieces. And then Doug and I and some other people painted them, and we just unveiled in the summertime in Ottawa. Wow. And yeah, that's what I've been up to.
So John is the ambitious one of the group.
Cool. He's no kidding. Wow.
He also made Shan and I the coolest little 3D heads of ourselves for our wedding, which are kind of creepy, but kind of cool. Maybe I'll show them to you. They're very cool. And of course,
That's awesome.
So let's dive into it. As I say, if you're here today and you're taking time out of your schedule to learn great productivity tips that we normally do, or social marketing on Webinar Wednesday, this is not necessarily going to be the webinar for you. It's going to be fun. You will learn about some cool apps. We're going to share our favorite apps, and then at the end we will pick who has the best app. So that's it. So the rules are thus: we do rounds. Each one of you shares one app per round. We talk it over. We ask you a few questions about it, so that you actually know the app the way we do it. And then once we get through each of the rounds of the 3 apps, then each one of you picks one of the other's apps as our finalists. So I'll say, so you have to pay attention to what they are. And then those are the ones that then April will enter as a poll, and then our community, our studio audience, our online audience gets to pick the winner, and that's fun. That's what in my world is a fun day. So there we go.
Look at Vivica over there. She's like, yeah, I'm ready for this. She's like, ready to crush you.
Bring up the apps.
I don't know.
When we used to do this on Blab, we used to do it at night, And I think Vivica was always had a glass of wine at her elbow as we did it,
which
is a really good way to do things.
That's the funnest way to play it, though.
It is a fun way to do it.
It definitely is.
Because we used to go out for drinks afterwards on the radio show. I'm like, why don't we just record the radio show at the bar?
Just bring the drinks.
Yeah, except John wouldn't come when he lost. He would just, I gotta go home. All right. Well, John, why don't you kick things off? What is your first app?
So this is an app that I thought was kind of interesting, especially for people that want to sort of, a lot of the people I think that typically come to your webinars, they want to look at all their analytics and they want to look at all this stuff. But I wonder if they're looking at analytics about themselves. So there's an app called exist.io that you can download, and you get to give away all of your private connections to all of your apps. And what it does is it aggregates all those things, and then it takes it, and then it will sort of quiz you on a regular basis, saying, how are you feeling today? And it tries to match up, your mood and your sort of your overall sort of state of mind and state of being, and give you a report on, well, you were doing these things today and you weren't happy, and then tomorrow you were doing these things and you were really happy. So maybe you should focus more on that stuff. So it's a kind of a neat idea. It's free for 30 days, and then it's like a couple bucks a month, or I think you can get like 20 bucks for a year or something like that. So it's
$6 per month, $57 per year, US.
There you go. I just don't have the screen up in front of me, but yeah, it sounds like a neat idea for people that are really interested in sort of the quantitative self from a more of a mood standpoint as opposed to sheer numbers and that type of thing. So
that was cool.
It looks kind of creepy. I mean,
now I remember why I don't do this, because I download too many apps.
So
I just got rid of 40.
Have you checked their privacy? Just out of curiosity, did you check their privacy policy? Because they are gathering a lot of information on you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I mean, you can choose what you give them. So if you just give them your Fitbit scores and stuff like that, or your health stuff, but it does other things too. And I'm not really comfortable giving them all of my stuff. And if you look on their website, they actually have quite a lot of stuff they integrate with. I don't want them reading my Facebook and my Gmail and my Twitter. But maybe more for, you can sort of pick and choose what analytics are maybe more important or more visible or more data generative that you typically would use on a daily basis. So, if you're not tweeting very often, well, obviously that's not going to really give this system a
lot of happiness. Todd Maffin, who will be on this at some point, he's another one of our friends here. He's always posting on Facebook. He uses some of these mood apps that tell it's like we've reached the point where we need the weather app to tell us what the weather's like outside rather than the window. He uses the mood app to decide if he's happy or not, and then he shares it on Facebook. So I'm sure that Todd will be happy with that one as well. Exist.io, and we are off. John's first volley into the App Wednesday for what should we call it? What's it? Conflict. There we go. Okay, Amanda, you get to go next. Are you ready? This is your first time ever doing this, and we don't give you any extra credit or any slack for being a rookie.
That's fine. I'm going to crush them all. It's good.
Okay.
So the first app that I wanted to throw into the mix is Snapseed. So Snapseed is going down sort of the more creative route versus the more digital analytics. Seed is an app that is essentially like a miniature Photoshop in your pocket. So there are many photo editing apps to add filters and to brighten and to tweak your images. But what I love the most about Snapseed is that it really has, if you do use any Photoshop or Adobe editing tools, it does mirror that very closely, and it gives you so much more control to have since the edit. Say I took a photo, a certain portion of the photo. Or perhaps an actual photo, it gives you a little more creativity in being able to just very intentionally layer on those photo edits in those to all sorts of really more in-depth abilities to edit that photo more properly and more mirrored toward how an actual Photoshop experience would be, versus just layering on all of these filters that are very destructive to the image and maybe not what you're actually trying to do.
So that's an interesting. Now it's made by Google, which is interesting.
Oh, interesting.
And it's interesting that Google has a product with the first name Snap. I'm just saying, not that we think Snapchat's going to be acquired by anybody at some point in the future.
Is this
but
Snapchat
it's an interesting.
Still around?
It's been around. It's been around time. It's and I don't think Google didn't make it. I don't believe. I think they acquired it.
Yeah, they acquired it. Good stuff. Snapseed, a photo editing app for mobile that is an incredibly powerful photo editor. All right, next round we've got Vivica. Vivica, what do you got for us?
So mine's neither creative nor
shopping related.
However, I know. So around Christmas time, and really anytime you go into the garage, you realize, if you're me, that you spend too much money and you're not quite sure where. And so I used to, like, you know, get pieces of paper and write it down, and that never happened. And then I got like really, you know, sophisticated with like QuickBooks, but let's face it, that was way overkill. And I looked and looked and looked for a spending tracking device where, you know, I could see where I was spending my money, how much money I was spending on, you know, clothes and shoes, which is way too much. And so, and I finally found this thing called a spending tracker. There you go. And it's literally just a spending tracker. But for anyone who budgets by going, well, as long as I've got more money in my bank account at the end of the month than at the beginning of the month, I'm good. And you want to grow up and adult a little bit, it's actually a really, really handy tracker. So it's not super sexy, but it actually helps one to adult, which, you know, Steve can't do anyway. So Amanda, you might be interested in it.
Very interested. Might be helpful on this road trip.
Okay, so a personal question: has it made a difference in your spending habits?
It truly has. It truly has, because I have to, you know, every time I like go to buy shoes, I'm like, do I really need to spend $147 on these shoes? I go, yes, but maybe less on groceries.
I'm on the same page, Vivica. Same page.
Okay.
Actually, on this road
trip, I was
in
Belize, and I'm like, I can't see spending like $48 on this drink, but I could absolutely go buy those flip-flops for $22.
I'm on a road trip where I have to like pare everything down to just the bare essentials, and I think I still have about 8 pairs of high heel shoes packed in the mix with everything.
I was so impressed with Amanda and her ability to like pack in one bag for that road trip you were on. That was insane. Anyway.
Okay, so our first round is in the books, and John shared exist.io, where you can share all of your personal information with an app that we don't know very much about, so they can now do who knows what with it, but they will tell us if we're happy or not.
That's right.
Amanda has Snapseed, a photo editor for your phone, where you want to deeply edit serious photographs, which most of us would choose to do on a computer, but no, you're going to do it on your phone. And Vivica has
most of us over 40 do it on a computer.
I guess Vivica has a spending tracker. Shush, a spending tracker, which tells her, it kind of dovetails with John's happiness app, because that is her happy place, and so it kind of brings her back from that. So here, I'm just going to give you guys a technical. Some technical feedback. A couple of you are complaining about the feed, and that is not a big marker issue at this point here. Amanda is in a hotel room, so she's got hotel Wi-Fi, so part of the issue is that. I see there's a couple of actually rather strident complaints about big marker. Here's what we do on Dottotech, by the way. I test out all of the apps. I give each of the webinar platforms a really good trial. And I can tell you right now, if we were in Webinar Jam, we'd be having issues today as well. Every webinar app doing this sort of a webinar is going to have some form of an issue or other, including Zoom, including GoToWebinar. So we're testing them out. We're trying to find the best ways to use them all. So I'm sorry that if you are having some issues, but typically speaking, when you're doing 4 people online from 4 different areas all being consolidated in one, that's really stretching most webinar or any live streaming app. So there's going to be a few technical issues. So we apologize for that, but there's very little that we can do about it, and we certainly can't make a change midstream. So that's that. All right. I like the first round. I think we're off to the races. And we are back to John for number 2.
All right. So everybody loves podcasts, it seems. And one of the things that I found that I thought was really kind of a neat idea is it's called Road Trip. And I think April's going to post a link because it's not obvious where you find it. It actually isn't an app. It's just a web page that works on any phone or tablet or anything like that. And what it does is it uses your current location, and it will read you the Wikipedia entry for wherever you are. So I think when Amanda's on her road trip, it'll tell you all kinds of interesting things as you're driving through these little small counties and townships and that type of thing.
That's cool.
So it's
almost like
free.
Would you use it like live? Would you like have it open and it would just suddenly pop in and say, Amanda, you are driving past this in this location where this happened?
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
And the neat thing is you can pause it, and it's just a simple web interface, completely free. And all it does is, in a fairly nice voice, read something. And I actually, I've used it a few times, and I just tested it again before today to make sure, and I learned something new about my town. So, and I'm just in my house. So it's kind of a neat little app.
Interesting URL, glitch.me.
Glitch, I know. Like,
well, I think glitch.me is like a GitHub style scripting platform. So it's like a web host for coders.
So a road tripping app, which is like having a know-it-all friend in the car telling you all sorts of
it's
random
like Steve's in the back.
No, I'm not.
Not that I'm trying to say that app is going to get my vote or win, but I'm actually going to say I'm going to use that because I could really use. There's so many things passing on my way through that I'm realizing that I wish I knew that existed. An hour ago before this thing. So I haven't been touristing very much because I don't know what's out. It's a full-time job trying to book a place to sleep, find Wi-Fi, and feed myself, let alone tourist at the same time. So I'm really excited to try that.
Marcia commented that in the old days we called these triptychs, and I can imagine that would be really useful with your kids and stuff as you're driving along too, for entertaining the curious sort.
Indeed.
Although I don't know what it's like driving with kids anymore now that they have like data almost everywhere. It must be a lot easier.
Oh, I know, exactly.
Man, I think maybe I'll have some more kids. That might not be as bad as was the first time around. All right, I'll have a chat with Shan about that. All right, Amanda.
All right, do I have to go in the order that I submitted them, or can I change it up?
No, you can jump it around.
All right, so let's go. I've got 2 creative, 1 practical. So let me jump into the practical ones. So I use an iPad and the Apple Pencil, which is not a pencil. It's a digital pen. And I use GoodNotes for doing all of my note taking. So I write with my Apple Pencil handwritten notes. And what I love about this app is that my brain works like a giant bunch of sticky notes. It's like I need to park that information here, and then I need to park this information here, and then I need to be able to move them all around as I need to. And an app like Trello, where Trello is kind of like a digital sticky note board, it just doesn't quite work for me. I just want to be able to write notes down on paper, but not have a billion pieces of paper, and then be able to select different individual parts of what I wrote, move it around, change the colors. I can grab that text or that writing, and I can actually convert it into text and email it to myself. I can take screenshots, email that to myself. I can also convert it into a PDF and email that to anybody, upload it to my Dropbox. It's so much flexibility into being able to sit there as though you're holding a piece of paper and write notes and then rejig all of that information around in a way that makes the most sense for my brain. And I also do a lot of chatbot building. So I use it for doing my chatbot flows, where I'll draw out little boxes and the little branches, like the tree branches, and really figure it out. It's an amazing brainstorming tool, and it syncs across all of my. So that is GoodNotes. GoodNotes,
and it is iOS only, I believe. Correct.
Sounds cool.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
The difference though with something like Mind Map, though, it's still you're on a computer and you have to type things. This is just I can draw pictures, and I do use it for visual storytelling when I'm trying to explain something very technical to a client or to an audience. I can draw it as a visual, like a picture, saying, you know, here's your.
So you hook your iPad up to the projector, and you actually do it kind of like you're drawing right on it. That's a really neat presentation style. I like that. Yeah. That's very cool. All right, John will be back. He just, I think he had to go to the bathroom.
We offended him.
He'll be back. There you go. He's coming back.
He knows that his app is gonna be the winner, so he's like, I'm out.
He's like, I'm out. I got one. I'm good.
I need a mic to drop.
This is not over till it's over. This is not over till it's over. You'll be surprised.
It was good.
You'll be surprised. Some of the best. Most people. John is one of the best at it. He keeps his absolute best app for the last. He knows this game.
Oh.
So if you like Road Trip, just stick around. All right.
Dan.
Next up, Vivica.
All right. I didn't know we were supposed to keep our best app to the last. Well, this is an oldie and a goodie, and I didn't realize they had updated it. So Google Translate. We were in Portugal, and Portuguese is like a hard language. Now, we have a lot of people on the call from Europe, and you all speak 40 languages anyway, but we Americans speak maybe one language. And so, and Canadians, maybe 2 languages. So when we travel the world, we often need a translator. And what I like about the new Google Translator is it's got a photo option where you like take a picture of, you know, bathrooms this way, and it'll actually translate. So if you're especially if it's Chinese or Portuguese or Swedish, and it's like there's no way you can figure out what it's actually saying, Google Translate will actually translate it for you. And it works on Wi-Fi as well as self-service. So, you know, that way you can make your way around. And it also has the old translation where you can type it in, etc. But the ability to either take a picture and have it translate, or literally just on kind of the video mode, hover over a sign and have the signage translated is really cool.
So that is an augmented reality feature that they've added to it, where you actually have the live view of the camera. You're pointing it at a sign. It's parsing the text out of the sign and then translating it into your native language in real time. That's a really technically impressive. Yeah, I win if we win.
It really is.
I will mention you can't use it without taking precautions in China. Ask me how I know, because Google's all blocked in China, so you have to use it.
Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah. All right, I shouldn't have used
Chinese. In China, John.
To think of the language.
No, I went to Singapore. Or I went to Shanghai. I got shanghaied, and
in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very cool.
Yes,
I like that.
It is very good for menus because you never know what you're ordering. Sometimes you're like, that is a fish brain and I'm not eating it.
Did you actually have a fish brain?
In Belize? No, I didn't actually.
No, you didn't.
But there were some. It was hip tut. And it looked like fish brain, but I found out while there was fish in it is actually just a green banana dumpling, which was actually quite tasty.
Okay. Yes. I don't trust much green food, I gotta say, other than like obviously lettucey vegetable things. But if it's not obviously a vegetable and it's green, I've got limited trust in my face and in my space for that sort of thing. Good stuff. All right, so round 2, open with John with Road Trip, which is a website that you use as a mobile tool that as you're driving along, it uses GIS to know exactly where you are. And it shares interesting Wikipedia-like tidbits about the area that you're driving through, points of interest, as it were, as you drive through. Amanda brought us Good Notes, which she uses with her Apple Pen, which is the most expensive pen on the planet. And and she uses it on her tablet for taking handwritten notes, and then she often uses it for presentations, which is a fairly cool idea. And Vivica said that she needs help on the road, translation help on the road. She didn't talk about shopping with this particular one, but I guarantee she uses it in the stores as well. But Google Translate. Now, I got to say, I use Google Translate all the time too, just on the web. Because on my YouTube channel, often I get comments in other languages, and I want to know if people are being rude.
Yeah.
So I use Google Translate.
And they often are with you, Steve.
No, they're usually pretty good, but I always answer back. And I didn't know you spoke Russian, Steve, and I just yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. I do stilted Russian. I do stilted translator Russian. By the way, one of my favorite is Google Translate? Yeah, Google Translates. Have you seen the YouTube channel for Google Translates? She does songs where she takes the song lyrics, she converts it into another language, and then back into English, and then they sing the lyrics based on the translations. That's awesome. you get what Google translates. It is a wonderful YouTube channel. Much laughter ensues if you happen to visit that particular channel. We're rocking along. We might have time for 4. Do you guys all have an extra? We might have time for 4.
Nope.
You know why this? You know why it's going faster? When we did this in radio, we had to do breaks for our ads. I need some sponsors.
Bio breaks.
I need some sponsors. All right. So that's it. So round 2 is in the books. I wonder which of this Exist.io, Road Trip, Snapseed, GoodWorks, Spending Tracker, or Translate. I know which one I'd like to do a demo of, but we'll see which one rises to the top with you. So everybody's going to be paying attention and keeping score because you have to vote at home for the one that you like the bestest. All right, John, round 3.
All right. So one thing that I kind of put off for the longest time is a travel organizational app. And my last app is TripIt, and TripIt Pro especially. It's totally worth TripIt. Yeah.
TripIt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
TripIt.
Yeah, there you go, April. The link. You basically set it up and have an email that you send any kind of like itineraries or any bookings you have, and it organizes it all in one place. It tells you lots about like your destination, your check-in times, your airport parking lot, your lounge access, all that stuff, all in one place, and it's great. I just used it last week in Toronto, so.
That sounds good. So do you load your itinerary in?
There's a couple ways you can do it. You can forward the email you get from, like, say, Air Canada or whomever, and it'll automatically sort of queue it all up and add it to your account. Or you can go in manually and just enter your specifics, like your confirmation ID, your airline, all that kind of stuff. But the nice thing is that it has all of your stuff in one place. So all of your frequent flyer mile accounts all in one place. It's not airline specific or any kind of other brand specific thing. So it's just nice to have like an unbiased gathering place for all of your travel information in one place. And it's super easy because you get an email, you just forward it to the special email address that they give you for your account, and it automatically adds it to your account. You don't have to do any kind of like input or anything like that.
Do you use it for your ticketing as well? Like, can you use it for your boarding pass, or do you have to go into the airline app or into the wallet in order for the boarding passes?
I used my wallet through the Air Canada app to add it to my phone, to my watch.
Yeah, I typically load it in the wallet on the iPhone as well.
Yeah,
but it'd be nice if it was in a different place. I mean, okay.
Just a backup, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got all the phone numbers to call if you have any problems with any of your ticketing things. Like if you have a rental car issue, here's the number to call for someone like you being in a foreign country, for example. Here's the 1-800 number for Canadians to call to get help, kind of thing.
Okay,
right? So,
TripIt. That sounds like, and it's free?
There's a free version, and then the pro version has some additional things that it does too. And you can try both for free and see what level. Sorry, Mary just asked if it's in the UK. I think it's global. It's everywhere. So I think it's an American company, but it works everywhere.
Yeah.
And advertising supported, you're going to be getting some sidebar ads and that kind of promotional pieces, I imagine.
And I think that's what the pro gets rid of is the ads. But I quite like it a lot more than I expected to.
That sounds like a good app.
It's really good. Yeah.
Do you use it, Vivica?
Yeah. I'm like shocked you've never heard of it before.
I don't get out much.
It's like, I mean, for anyone who actually speaks a lot on the road, Steve. No.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't speak much anymore.
It's a really good app. It's been around for a long, long time.
It has, yeah.
Like it's pre-iPhone, I think.
Well, some of us are really popular speakers like you, and other ones we just have to work so hard for every talk we get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay out of that one. So similar to John, I this is not my app, but I use TripCase instead of TripIt. So it's the exact same concept, same thing. You can email all of your itineraries and access all of your tickets and phone numbers. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Okay. All righty then, Amanda. Let's jump to yours next.
Okay. So like I said, I had 2 creative and 1 practical. I've already done my practical, so this is my second creative one, and this one is kind of like a no-brainer. I feel like it's not very. There's no real bells and whistles or anything too exciting about it. It's just very practical for me on the creative side, which is Pick Collage. So Pick Collage is it gives you the ability to make collages with your pictures, your photos. What I do like about the app is the ability to resize or choose different size templates. So you can do like a full screen if you want to incorporate it into your Instagram stories. You can do square if you want to use it just for Instagram. You can do a free form. And I also like the stickers. There are some free stickers and there are sticker packs that they're add-on purchases. But for example, I did spend the money on a Canadian sticker pack so I can put beavers and moose and Canada flags on my Pick Collages. But the practical application, it doesn't have a poutine sticker. I think we should recommend it. I'm missing a little bit of back home poutine right now. But with where I am finding it most useful is I get a little bit irked when some people in Instagram stories are becoming really big, and a lot they have been. I'm finding it's a little bit annoying when somebody has like bazillion photos that they're putting into their Instagram stories. You know, we don't want to see all of those photos, but if you can group everything into telling a collective story and then post that into your Instagram story and have these templates of these, you know, a picture tells 1,000 words. Well, what if you have all of those laid out into a Pick Collage template in that full screen format size? Again, you can do all of this right on your phone, right on the go. So I'll usually take a series of photos and you jump on over into Pick Collage, assemble them into telling a story, and then jump into Instagram stories and push it out so that I don't have, you know, a bazillion of these little stories that people have. That's Pick Collage.
Pick Collage.
It's a no-brainer, so why not?
But a no-brainer if you're an Instagrammer. I mean, really. It's not outside of the Instagram ecosystem. No,
I would actually challenge that. I'm just using Instagram as the example and using it in a practical self. But before Instagram stories, I use Pick Collage for putting things out on Facebook, for creating little advertisements, for creating Facebook ads for clients. I would take their images and just run it through rather than the time it takes. A lot of the time you'll take photos or you'll have photos already on your phone, rather than the time it takes to send that to your computer, then to jump on, say, Canva or InDesign or any of the other design tools. Rather than that extra step, sometimes the simple apps are just as good, and it cuts out a bazillion steps of transferring data. You just build it on the go, on the fly, then migrate it over and use it in the application that you wanted to, whether that's for a tweet, whether that's for a Facebook ad, whether that's for doing a little bit of graphic design for somebody. You know, the possibilities with it are endless.
I just ran Google Translate on a bazillion apps, and in Canadian, a bazillion steps is actually 3. Just so you know.
Well, you know, Steve has problems counting in Canadian and American, as we all know.
You know what? I'm not going to blame him, because now that I'm on this road trip, I have learned the hard way, you know, kilometers versus miles and gallons versus liters. Counting is not my strength right now.
That's what we need, is a good translation.
Yes. Well, Amanda entered the school system in Canada. When I entered the school system, we still did imperial measure, and then I had to convert to metric in my schooling. Whose phone is ringing?
That was mine, and I turned it off.
Yeah, I thought so.
You know.
All right.
They had 13 grades when I was in Canada, and they got rid of it the day I.
Well, they still do in some jurisdictions. Ontario,
really?
they have 13. 13. BC, we have 12. But British Columbians are smarter than Ontarians. Cover the same information. 12.
I love them.
All right, John. Are you frozen again?
Are you still here, John?
No.
I am.
No, sorry, Vivica. No, it's not John. It's Vivica.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a second, is it my turn? It's me. It's all about me. So mine is definitely a productivity app. I use it all the time. It's not free. It's $20 a month, but it's incredibly powerful. It's called OneMob, and it's a video email tool, which there's Videos and Videolicious. There's a lot of video email apps, but OneMob in particular, I'm going to put a link just to kind of show you what it looks like. I like OneMob because you can actually create a landing page. So not only are you talking to people through your video, but you can create a landing page and share additional content with them. So it works great. Not only is, hey, I'm out of the office, which is the one that I just shared, is my out of office, which I use both on LinkedIn and my out of office on Gmail. But you can also use it, for a proposal. Do a video like, hey, John, it was great talking to you the other day. You had a couple questions about LinkedIn profile makeovers. I've added the link below, as well as a testimonial, as well as before and after picture. Let me know what you think. And so it's a great way to have that face-to-face. And it's made a big difference in our business doing the out of office with video. So yes, there's other video email tools out there. And of course, if you're using Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, well, LinkedIn doesn't have video yet, but it's got an audio. You can leave a voicemail. But it is a really, really cool tool, but it's expensive.
$20.
I mean, it's not that expensive. But.
So we've actually done some videos recently on using video email and there's as you say, there are a few tools, but let me just back that up and let's walk through some of the pieces, because I think that's
I just scared John. He's off. He's like,
no, he's going to sign up for it right now. He's signing up for it. He has limited bandwidth, and he's just texted me up. I just got booted off again. Yeah. So John just got, he'll be back. I know he'll be back. Because he's telling us we got booted because we can't see that he got booted. Here's the thing with video email. And riddle me this about OneMob. So the whole idea behind sending a video email is you need convenience. So the video has to be hosted somewhere. So the best video email tools are actually basically just video servers, the same as YouTube, except they're packaged up nicely so that they encapsulate your video for email purposes, right? So we're kind of on the same page. So it's serving the video. But what you're saying OneMob does is it goes a step beyond just giving us a video replay window, but it actually does almost like a micro blog post where it creates a whole page that you can dedicate to the person. So the video is embedded, but you can add additional resources. You could add a proposal. You could add a PDF document of some sort. You could add a personal note or some photos or something to download. You can add some more information to that page. So it encapsulates it all in the note instead of having it in the body of the video.
Exactly right. And it has stats. So you can see what they clicked on, how long they stayed on it, when they clicked through, and you can choose whether you want a gated message or not. I don't like gating because people don't click through, if they have to sign in, but you can catch a lot of those analytics and metrics as well.
So you'll see if somebody's read the email. So as a CRM tool, as a customer relationship management, or as a part of your, especially for business, if you want to make sure that XYZ person has seen the video before you do your next outreach to them, that's a tool.
Yeah, so they've got some great zaps too. So they zap with, I'm sure they zap with Salesforce. We use HubSpot. So you can zap it into HubSpot too. If you want. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. So it's not a CRM in and of itself, for sure. Not even close, but it is. No, but it's really
giving you the analytics. It's giving you the analytics back that you're looking for. I like that. That's a very cool tool. That's good.
Finally, I think that's the first time you've ever said you liked one of my apps, Steve.
I just said I like Google Translator, woman.
Oh, that's true.
Seriously.
Ooh, but that was like, it's getting heated.
Well, Vivica and I go way back, and she forgets sometimes. She has to be reminded how awesome I am.
I just think it's ironic that you like a video app that I shared because you're like the king of video. When I started doing video, YouTube video, and Steve is the one, I mean, I give him full props. Like he turned me on to ScreenFlow and green screens and the right kind of tools. And oh my God, the flack he gave me. Like, what is this shadow weirdness?
Well,
why is your face all blurry?
She takes the tool and she does it half-assed. I'm sorry, but you did. You would do it like you'd put the green screen behind, and then for some reason, you changed the opacity of your face so that you were like Casper the Friendly Ghost, all transparent. And then she wonders why I'm giving her heck about that. But the problem is not that she does it. Sorry, we're airing some dirty laundry here, but the problem is not that she does it. The problem is that she does it, and she says to the world, "Steve Dotto taught me."
Yeah, that's like people telling them that I taught you how to do
crap.
LinkedIn.
And it's like people going, "Well, that guy doesn't know what he's doing because that looks terrible." So yeah, that was
Wow.
so I have a legitimate issue here. I have a legitimate need. Okay. All right. Let's let you know what's coming up next week, and then we are to our judging panel. So next week we are not doing Webinar Wednesday. It's we're taking a week off. I'm going to be down at Vid Summit, which is Daryl Eves' big YouTube event. So I'm going to be hanging with the cool YouTube kids at Vid Summit. So we're going to be off for that week. And the following week, we're planning a really cool video Webinar Wednesday. Right now, it's the working title of this right now, and I'm still doing the final bit of research, is why you shouldn't be doing Facebook ads. And I know it's a little clickbaity, but that's what we're planning in a couple weeks. So keep your eye open in your email for that. So we have basically a week off. Of course, we haven't yet said hello and a big thank you to all of our patrons at Patreon. Dottotech, this channel is supported through the generosity of you folks, our community at Patreon. You're the ones that keep us on air and keep us going. And there are lots of perks to supporting Dottotech on Patreon, which if you visit our Patreon page, you can discover, including the links to Webinar Wednesday replays, as well as half price off on all of our online courses. Just a big thanks to all of you folks who do support us on Patreon. We appreciate your support ever so much. All right.
John has a question.
Now, John wants credit. John wants credit is what John wants.
Steve knows what I'm going for. Well, and who told you about Patreon? I'm just
you told me about Patreon, John.
Okay, good.
So, by the way, the founder of Patreon is a friend of John. Is he a friend? Would you classify Jack as a friend?
I've had beers with him, and I chatted with him a bit when he launched Patreon. Yeah.
So Jack Conti is the founder of Patreon.
Yes, that's
the band.
I was there. I was at a festival that they were performing at, and Jack just happened to be speaking about this new thing he was working on called Patreon, and I told Steve about it, and look where Steve is now.
Yeah, and we've done very well. So at Vid Summit next week, I'm speaking, and I'm the very first speaker. I'm not the keynote. I'm the very first speaker. They have an 8 a.m. talk. I'm giving an 8 a.m. talk, and then Jack Conti is the keynote immediately following me. I'm the warm-up act for Jack.
Tell him I said hi.
But the topic—
that's so cool.
The topic that Daryl wants me to talk about is how to grow a Patreon community. So now I'm going to be giving this talk in front of the guy that built it. So I'm a little—
drop my URL then. So yeah.
I'm going to drop your— I'm just a little stressed about it because he might just say,
cool,
everything that guy said, don't do. Everything that guy said, no. Those aren't best practices at all. I'm just worried about that. But we will see. I agree it is a perfect topic, and I am looking forward to sharing it because our Patreon community has been awesome for Dottotech. It is one of the reasons we are thriving. All right. Let's get to our— now we're down to this is really the funnest point. So I pick one of you randomly, and I pick a second person randomly, and the first person I pick gets to choose which of the other person's 3 apps are going to be entered for the community to vote on for App of the Week, for the crown, for the joyous victory of being the person with App of the Week. Yes, we should have a tiara for you.
Mary.
All right. So John knows how to do this best. So I'm going to start with John. John, I'm going to let you choose from Amanda's 3 because they're so graphically oriented. I know you're such a graphics dude. So Amanda's—
okay.
Go ahead.
No, I wasn't sure if it was my turn or you're going to continue to explain how this works.
Well, no, I'm gonna recap Amanda's apps now. So just cool your jets. You'll get to talk in a minute. Okay. Snapseed, a high-end graphics app editing application from the good folks at Google for your smartphone. GoodNotes, an iOS-only note-taking app which she uses with her Apple Pencil and to provide collecting all of her random little bits of information and occasionally giving presentations. And a Pick Collage, a Instagram-only app. No, it's not an Instagram-only app. An app that allows you to create very quickly, a simple app for very quickly creating a variety of different collages.
Well, I'm going to first talk about Pick Collage for a second. I use Pick Play Post because which is kind of cool. But I'm actually going to pick Snapseed because I actually use Snapseed a lot. I like it because it's like portable Photoshop without being Photoshop. I use it to take 360. I have a 360 camera, so I take a lot of 360 photos. Some of them are on a tripod, and sometimes the tripod gets in the shot, and Snapseed lets you easily delete things from the image. So I use it. I'm going to pick Snapseed from Amanda's list.
All right. Awesome. Our first entry is in Amanda's Snapseed. Now, Vivica. No. Amanda, you get to select Vivica's. I remember how it all works now. Vivica's 3 choices are spending tracker, where she spends money and tracks it so that she knows that where she spent it on frivolous or non-frivolous items. Mostly Google Translate, which translates everything from signage to, does it work? I guess, yeah, you can use dictation in it as well. But basically, it saves your bacon when you're on the road, and it actually tells you what bacon is when you're on the road. And OneMob, a $20 per month video email package, which is a complete almost micro blogger that will allow you to create full packaged emails with supporting content to really personalize your communications with clients or others. Which one do you like?
You have to pick the first one related to expenses, because I think personally that relates to me the most and I could really benefit from it. But then on the flip side, with regards to video, because I think, if that one were to actually win and get a review from Steve, I think that would benefit the community a lot. Oh, Libby's like, oh, don't make me
spending tracker. I don't want to do spending tracker. That sucks.
Spending tracker is awesome.
Wait,
I just go with OneMob.
Steve, I feel like you're starting to influence my decision here, and I think that might be breaching.
That's a little Trump-esque.
Totally legit. I've even overridden people. They've said, I picked this. I go, no, you're wrong. I've done that in the past.
He has.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with Vivica's third choice, the video tool.
OneMob.
That's a good choice. It's a little. I got to check and see if they have an affiliate program.
They do. I'll hook you up with the CEO.
Oh, do you know?
Disclosure, I'm on the board.
I didn't know we could do that. I should have recommended. I've got some affiliate apps that I could really be recommending.
I'll just start dropping Amazon links in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't get any kudos.
April, we just put all the emails in one big basket.
It didn't have to be on the board.
We have to do a filing.
I got to give you credit. Like you're a smart gal here. I like this. I like how you operate.
All right. So Vivica's plant OneMob is the winner for the second our second app of the week. OneMob. All right, John. Now, no, Vivica. Now you get to select John's one, and I know which one you're going to select because you're so transparent. Exist.io. Are you happy or not? And what are you doing that's making you happy? Road Trip, which allows you to narrate your travels as you drive on the road. TripIt, which is a trip tracking resource that combines all of your important itinerary information and contact points when you're on the road.
Yeah. I use TripIt, so I'm going to go actually with Road Trip because to Amanda's point, we're on the road a lot, and we will be on the road even more coming up here in a couple of years when we finally retire. And yeah, you miss out on such cool stuff. So, and also I thought the exist.io sounds really cool, but way creepy. So I can't give it my full support until I test it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Road Trip sounds like really cool. Plus when you sign up for it, there's this like male voice that goes, "Are you ready to take a trip?" And it's kind of cool. So
does it say that?
And I agree, Richard. Farley should bite Steve.
No, Farley doesn't. Farley's never bit me in his life. I don't think he's ever bit anybody. He's a very gentle puppy. All right.
Nice. He's a
all right. So, now, all right. So let's put this into the poll. Let's create a poll. And the first one is Road Trip. The second is Snapseed. And the third one is OneMob. So, folks, what we're going to do now is you are going to vote on it as soon as April publishes the poll. It should pop up. There it is. It's popped up on everybody's screen. And so Amanda's pick is OneMob. Submit. There we go. And I get to do it twice. Viveka's pick is road
You
trip.
always get to do it
Pick
twice.
is Snapseed. So it's actually they picked, but it's another person's. It was a little bit of a misnomer there. So if we go to polls, can we see what the results are? Yes, indeed. Oh, look at this. It's happening in real time. This is so exciting to see.
I wish we had this when we were doing it on the radio show.
Yeah, it would have been far more. So right now, it's so far, and Viveka's road trip is in the lead. It's in the lead. It's got 33%. John's pick Snapseed is at 26%. Bringing up the rear is Amanda's pick. One mob in the rear.
Wait,
one mob in the
Can
rear.
I influence this? Can I just get everybody to jump on over and go to Snapseed and vote Snapseed? Can they change their votes?
Yeah, I don't think they can change. But
I still think we should put spending tracker up there.
Well, it's too bad. You don't count. I mean, you put it forward and you see. I have to do the video on this thing, and let's all recall the moment when that the menstruation app won.
That was the best.
Yeah, and that time Grinder one was really bad too.
Oh yeah, you tried to get Grinder, but that never made it through.
Small dog wins.
Small dog, yeah. Small dog
right.
making his grand appearance.
This is good. We've got 88 responses, but we have 137 people online, so we'll give you guys a few more seconds to put your vote in. Right now, it's still Viveka's pick, which is the road trip, which is actually John's app.
It's actually John's app.
Of course, John always wins. John, it's ridiculous how often John wins. Once he gets in the seat, you can never knock him out. I remember when time Hathaway finally beat him, it was just like Hathaway started to weep. He broke down and started to cry.
And that was the one week that you actually had like a big prize basket for the winner. And it was like, of all the times I won, I got nothing. And then Hathaway
was so bitter.
He got a router and a bunch of other
crap. What was the prize package?
It was like some router you had and
wow.
a bunch of other stuff.
I just wanted to jump in here and say that Snapseed is only 4 votes behind. So if anybody hasn't voted yet and I can influence this in any way, I think you're this close. Just
road trip's free.
4 more people, 5 more.
Road trip's free.
Yeah,
we've got
using a $20 app was maybe not my best move.
No,
we're getting there. If we could just squeeze out a few more votes, come on, in honor of Small Dog, who made a cameo appearance, as his handler. I don't.
Would this be better? I got to ask a question of the group. I got to ask a question of all our viewers. Now, would this be better if there was a prize attached? We should actually get a sponsor on to have a prize attached, and then have one person who picked the winner also win the prize.
And make it retroactive for this episode.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's the other thing. Do you guys want? Okay, we'll go back in the chat in a few minutes. We'll close it down. We'll close it down once we hit 100 responses. At that point, there, it's not going to change. We're close. Well, there's only a 2 more.
Come on, everybody! Come on, you can help me out here. Let's use the power of influence.
Okay, I'm going to do a countdown. I'm going to count down from 10. 10. In April, you're going to close off the poll when I hit 0.
LJ's raising her.
8.
So close.
7.
Wait, slower. So like
Get
Amanda.
So far.
5.
I just
4. 3.
People, help me out.
2.
Help me out here.
1.
You're on low.
Close it off. There it is.
Oh.
So the winner's road trip.
Chose my own.
Dealer, you're a savant. You are an absolute savant. So in the chat, tell us, do you guys like this show? Is this something that we should do once a month? Is once a month or once a quarter? We're not doing it every week.
Not on big marker.
Yeah, I got bumped twice.
So. Yeah, you got bumped twice. Well, we'll test out other platforms. I'm not going to buy another big license just to do this because I'm going to use whatever tool we have. I'm not going to pay for a Zoom license just to do this one piece. But we'll figure it out. People like it. They're in once a quarter. John's saying, good. Okay. Good. Yeah, we'll have to get sponsorship. If there's a little bit of, if there's a prize to win at the end, I think it could be even more fun. It could be even more fun. But listen,
and a prize for the best question too.
Sorry?
And a prize for the people asking questions.
Yeah, well, what we'd do is we'd pick somebody who had voted for the winner, if we can. I'll have to find out if we can parse that out. And it depends on the platform that we're using. See, this is why Blab, it's so sad Blab is gone. This kind of thing with a really robust, really access interface.
Have you used Crowdcast, Steve?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we use Crowdcast.
I like the stability on that one.
Yeah, Crowdcast, it has, well, we didn't have any more stability with Crowdcast than we have with Big Marker, to be honest. And there are far more issues with Crowdcast as far as people understanding the interface for registering for regular webinars. It's a great social broadcasting tool, but it's a little bit confusing for webinars. And Vivek is saying Zoom. Again, she's on the board.
And she should be able to get us a license.
Wait here, I got to take some notes for
See,
you.
look at April. See, April says no Crowdcast. Crowdcast caused us some administrative, but it's a good tool. It is a fine tool as well. Quarterly, yeah. So maybe not monthly, but quarterly, or just will intermittently, like every other month. I think more than quarterly, but less than monthly. So whenever I'm too tired, I don't have a good idea, and Steve needs a break. Because this I don't have to do a lot of prep for, other than wrangling together the proper people. Indeed. Do you not have a lid on your water again? Last time I talked to Vivica, she spilled water all over her keyboard.
But I just did it on myself.
Oh, jeez.
All right, folks, that's it. Thank you all so much for being here. Vivica, where can people find you?
Find me on LinkedIn. Just Google LinkedIn Expert. That's me. And on LinkedIn and at Vengresso and in Canada and Loveland, Colorado, under the water, diving, in the sky, hang gliding, you know, wherever.
Okay, the whereas. Amanda, how do people follow your travels?
Oh, follow me on Instagram and you'll see all of the stories of this amazing travel trip as it's unfolding. So cool. Or you can find me at socialsavvysociety.com for the
put in the links. Put in the links for us. And John?
I'm John Buehler everywhere.
There we go. Thanks, everybody. April, awesome job. Thank you so much. We will send a replay of this out. I don't know if I'm going to host this on YouTube and put this on YouTube or not. I'm not sure if this replay really should be on YouTube. I'm going to give it some thought and see if I can edit it down into something usable. We'll give it some thought as far as that. But you will have access to this replay for those of you who did have technical problems and want to see the sorry, I should change back.
Chris
and want to see
he's the only
replay.
one.
Sorry?
Chris enjoyed the platform. He's the only one.
Oh, lots of people like Big Marker. The thing about, I'll just tell you guys, when you have a few people that are bringing up issues, we had 160, 170 people online. So the 3 or 4 people that had issues, we have to put it into perspective. It's often their feed on the side. You know, we get a report back. We know exactly how many people really did have issues at the end. And overall, actually, Big Marker does tend to perform fairly well. But we will. That's for another video. We'll be releasing a Big Marker deep dive video for those of you that are really interested in the tool itself. Thanks all, everybody. Guys, you rocked.
Thank you.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Now, how do I shut this down? Oh, April, can you shut it down? Because I always go to the wrong place. Is it under the more menu that we? No, we don't stop the webinar there. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh, select language. I could have done this in a different language.
There we go. Okay, bye. Have fun storming the castle.
Everyone.